Good afternoon, everybody. I'm delighted to have you join us this afternoon. And thank you very much for making the time to listen to another one of our webinars, which I have to say I really enjoy giving. And today I'm especially excited about the wonderful destinations that we're going to be discovering across Tanzania, Madagascar, and Mozambique. Some of these places are ultimately my favorite experiences in our portfolio. And as somebody who's been on many safaris over the past 30 years, I feel that we have some extraordinary destinations that are not very well covered and touched on, and we are very proud to be able to share these with you today. While we're waiting for a few more people to join the webinar, I want to remind you as well, because we've got a great audience today. Thank you very much to all of you for signing up. But I wanted to remind you as well that we do have our mega fam taking place in October, and we do have a few gaps still on some of the trips. A lot of the destinations that we are covering now are included in the mega fam experiences. So please do let us know if you are keen for more details on the mega fam trips. And we will, when we send a follow-up to this, we will send you a reminder of those. So anybody who's not yet on MegaFam, we do have space and we'd love you still to be able to join us. So I'm going to get cracking on a few things to start off with over here. So basing just what we're talking about today, we're selling wilder destinations, the wild, the rare, and the untouched. We're going to be covering NOMAD Tanzania, the west and the south. We're not going into the northern part of NOMAD's camps in the Serengeti and the Tarangire. We're then going to go to Wild Expeditions, MASOALA Forest Lodge in Madagascar, an ultimately fantastic destination that I was very lucky to spend a whole week with my girls a few years ago. And then one of our newest members who's doing extremely well is Gorongosa Safaris in Mozambique. So I want to give you a quick roundup of those destinations. But before we're going to start this talk, I would like to know who of you are selling which of the destinations. So you know I love a poll. So our first poll is going to be run now, which Natasha is going to start. And the question we have over here is, which of these destinations are you already selling? Or have you already sold? So I just want to give some sort of idea. You know, we've got Chada, Katavi, Greystoke and Mahale. How many of you sold that? Kigelia in Ruaha, the Sand Rivers in Nyerere, the Charlie Expeditionary Camps. It used to be the walking camps. So if you sold the walking camps previously with Nomad Tanzania, you can still click on Charlie, even though Charlie is brand new with us recently. And then we've got MASOALA in Madagascar, and we've got Gorongosa. So I just want to get an idea and an indication of, oh, crack, you've got some very nice, more people than I had anticipated have sold some of the camps over here. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a chance to, oh, you know what, we should have had none of the above in this as well. Sorry, I should have had that. That's a bit silly of us. Um, but so I just wanted to give you an idea of where we are going with this. Okay, I'm going to wait. You still coming? Got some more of you coming in. Great. Well, at the moment, I'm going to end the poll now. This will just gives us a vaguely good idea of what is happening on that side. So share the results. So we have 45% of our attendees have sold Chada. 55% of you already sold Mahale in Greystoke. 50% have sold Ruaha in Kigelia. 59%, which is our highest number, have sold Sand Rivers down in the area as well. 5% have sold Charlie Expeditionary Camp, 14% MASOALA Forest Lodge, and 18% Gorongosa Safaris. That's a very interesting stat, I just have to say, that we've got more of you, not many, okay, it's a very small number, but more of you have sold Gorongosa, which we've only had in our portfolio for 14 months, than you have sold MASOALA, which has been around for many, many years. So we need to change that, guys. I definitely need to be changing that from our side. Okay, moving on. Let me go. So starting off in Tanzania, we're looking at the two destinations that I've already mentioned to you. We're going to do the western side of Tanzania, and we're going to do the southern side of Tanzania over here. So in the west, we've got Ugalla, Katavi, and Mahale. And then up in the south, we've got, down in the south rather, Ruaha and Nyerere. So Nomad Tanzania is well known to many of you and very well loved as well as a company. I think that they are one of the most iconic safari companies in Tanzania simply because they're privately owned. They do things in a unique and truly authentic way. The ethos and vision of Nomad completely fits with classics in how we are aligned to touching Africa in the right way, in a light space, and making a really positive impact on everything that we are doing going forward. So they've got there, please remember the stay longer, 5+ nights in any combination of camps, and you're getting a 20 to 30% reduced rate on the per person per night accommodation. That's valid all of 26 and will be valid into 2027. But that really is the crux of it. We don't want people doing one little camp here and there. It is about creating a nomad experience. Nomad is an exceptional good DMC. They are based up in Arusha, and they've got a fantastic team on the ground handling anything that you need to do, full itinerary quoting, all their booking services. And I'm sorry to say it, when the shit hits the fan, they really do know how to sort it out on the ground in a brilliant way. So very, very good as a DMC. And of course, they book third-party properties here as well. And then they've got Hornbill, which is their online system for building quotes and getting itineraries out in absolute minutes. We love Hornbill, absolutely love that. And I think it's a very exciting system for you to be using. If you haven't played in the Hornbill system, I really do encourage you to do so. And we're very happy to help you get login details, all those sorts of things. So just giving you a good little idea of where we are going on a map, because I think some of the parks we're mentioning today, a lot of people might not even know where they are. So in the south, we're going to look at Ruaha, which is down here to the western side. And then we've got Nyerere, which used to be Selous, which is one of the largest national parks in Africa. Into the west, we have Ugalla, which is one of the newest parks. It was only proclaimed as a national park in 2019. Then we've got Katavi and Mahale. So those three in the west, and Ruaha and Nyerere in our southern circuit. Within these areas, we have two safari lodges, Sand Rivers which is in the Nyerere area, and Greystoke, which is up in the Mahale, are our two lodges. We've then got one private villa, which is Kiba Point, which is directly linked to Sand Rivers. And then we have our two tented camps, Chada in Katavi and Kigelia in Ruaha. And finally, we have two Charlies, same concept, but operating in two different locations. We've got Charlie Ugalla and Charlie Ruaha. So those are the camps that I'm going to be covering today. I did look at our invitation and I noticed we said we were going to talk about Kusini, but I changed all of that. I'm terribly sorry. And I'm going south and west only. I'm not doing anything in the north. If you want to discuss any of the northern camps across Nomad Tanzania, please feel free to contact us directly and we will get onto it immediately and give you an update of what's happening up in the north as well. But today we're just doing the south and the west. So going into the west, over here, what I love about this area is completely untouched Tanzania. We've got twice weekly flights going into the western section, offering you access to Ugalla and Katavi and Mahale. And these are three of the most remote and wild parks in Tanzania. They are absolutely exquisite. And in combination, a brilliant, brilliant itinerary and a really wild adventure with touches of luxury and unique experiences. This is a destination of lakes and apes. It's not just safari and, open savanna lands and Mamba woodland and that. Here we've got we've got Lake Tanganyika, which is the Earth's second deepest lake and holds 18% of the planet's fresh water. And then we've got the apes. We've got the chimpanzee experience right on the edge of Lake Tanganyika as well. It's a connected safari. It's a wonderful immersive journey. One fantastic guides, walking, driving, sleeping out under the stars, doing unique experiences. And you can combine all three of these into one itinerary, or you can combine with the north, or you combine with the south as well. So there's a really nice combination on that side. Just to give you access, because I think when we speak about wild, very often wild is, oh God, I can't do it. It's too complicated. I don't know how to get there. I'll just stick to what is easy. And really what I find fascinating about all the destinations we're going to be chatting about today is how good the access is. Don't be put off by complexity. There are teams on the ground to help you through every inch of the complexity. And we have actually very good access as well. Talking about complexity though, I do think it's also a good thing to mention, especially in a stage now of the rising AI and ChatGPT becoming the best travel agent in the world, it seems to some people. It's good to have complexity like this because it really does prove who the great agents are versus the mediocres and those who sell by the book and sell the easy things. I've looked through the list of participants that we have today, and guys, we have a great group of agents listening to this conversation today. And these are the people that are looking for unique and different experiences and have a client base that is looking for something unique as well. So access is relatively easy. Flying up into the western side of Tanzania, we have a twice weekly fixed schedule flight, Monday, Thursday, flying out of Arusha or flying out of the Serengeti. You can fly from Kogitende, or anywhere in the Serengeti area, these flights can connect down. And then you go via Tabora as a fueling stop, and then the next stop is going to be in Ugalla. From Ugalla, you would then fly down to Katavi. The flight continues. It's the same flight going into Katavi. It then links up to Mahale. So that whole little loop is done in one flight. Leaving this area, you then fly directly back to Tabora for a refuel, and you connect back to Arusha or Kilimanjaro if you're flying in and out of the northern part of Tanzania. However, you can connect east as well. So there are twice weekly flights on a Monday and a Thursday again. So it works with that 3-night, 4-night itinerary building option. So you can fly from Katavi directly into Ruaha as well. And then there are add-ons to be able to connect via Mahale into Ruaha. Those flights then connect into Nyerere and on into Zanzibar as well. The last time I was in Mahale, we flew back to Arusha, but the other guests that were with us flew to Zanzibar, which I thought was quite a really nice option to have as well. So where I'm going to start over here, because we're going to start Ugalla, which is our first stop on that route, is the brand new Charlie Expeditionary Camp. We launched this a few weeks ago for NOMAD Tanzania, and I think I have to admit, I haven't done it yet because it's brand new. The concept absolutely oozes everything that we want in wild exploration and something completely different. Imagine going to a park the size of Ugalla, which is about 3,500 square kilometers, and you're the only mobile camp in that area. This used to be a hunting park in the past, and it's only, as I mentioned earlier, been turned into a national park in 2019. So it hasn't settled down in the same way that you're going to find some of the older parks. But when it comes to that sense of wild freedom, and to have this whole area to yourself is absolutely extraordinary. The camp is sold only on an exclusive use basis, and it is seasonal. There are 4 tents with a maximum of 6 guests because that's kind of what fits one vehicle. Between the 4 tents, you have 2 shared bathrooms. So I don't think this is the lap of luxury with your ensuite bathroom or anything like that. It's a shared bush bathroom scenario. Children 16 years and older, and you're doing both walking and you have a private vehicle. It's not just walking. It's a combo of walking and driving. So you've got that flexibility, and it operates from mid-July through to mid-October. And please note for Ugalla, Charlie Ugalla, the minimum stay is 3 nights. If you're thinking about who on earth is going to do this, what client does this possibly suit? I was chatting to Rupert a little bit earlier, and we were both saying this is the most phenomenal experience for a family to do with kids that are in their late teens, early 20s, like a big graduate, like a either pre-university, or post-university, that sort of thing. But to do a trip like this with teenage children would be one of those experiences that unite you as a family for life. Here we've got lots of simplicity in what we are doing, but the Ugalla as a destination is a pristine wilderness with wonderful Mayamba woodlands. It's got high grassy savannas and extensive floodplains. So it's a really pretty area. Fabulous for walking and exploring. Good lion numbers, quite good on the wild dogs as well. Roan, sable, well, these are the sable I'm showing you over here, but good roan numbers in this area as well. And then, of course, you've got all your other big animal species to be seen. And also, just in terms of number of people visiting this, there's less than a handful of visitors coming into Ugalla at the moment every year. So you really are making a fantastic impact, and you're exploring a vast untouched wilderness when you visit this destination. The camp itself is beautifully done. It's really simple, lovely canvas style tents. You've got your shared bathroom in the back, but the main focus here is actually the guiding culture and the guide. So at the moment, because the camps are new, we've got Pai, who's one of the top NOMAD Tanzania guides, and he's very strong on the walking side. Pai is doing a lot of the walking experiences and guiding a lot of this, and they are training up a few more of the top guides to be able to take over some of those Charlie experiences as well. But I think from in terms of a wild experience, this offers something truly extraordinary. From Ugalla, we're going to go a little bit south down to Katavi, where we stay at Chada. I do think that Chada and Katavi could combine. I mean, Chada and Charlie could combine really nicely. But if you've got a client who possibly doesn't quite want to do something like a Charlie, then I think Chada would be the just one step up. A little bit more luxe in its sense, but still extremely basic and extremely exclusive in terms of the experience. You've got each booking year has a private guide and vehicle. Children 12 years and older, so it's a little bit younger that we can take the kids. And then the seasonality of this is a little bit longer as well, June through to middle of November. And then for that short season, 14 December to 14 February. The rate is a little bit lower as well, which is another economic consideration. So between Charlie in Ugalla and Chada in Katavi, Charlie is offering you an absolute wild wilderness, and the fact that everything over there is yours. When you get down to Chada and Katavi, you've got brilliant game viewing. It's a little bit more settled in terms of its wildlife experiences, but you will be sharing this with other people possibly. Love this area, guys. I mean, Katavi has fewer than 1,000 visitors in a year. It is the highest concentration of hippos and crocodiles, so it is an extraordinary, extraordinary destination to be going to. And here we've got a private guide per booking, and you're doing wonderful walking, driving, sleeping out under the stars, really unique experiences. But every safari is tailor-made to the guest's needs. You don't go to a wild destination like this and sit on a vehicle with other people and try and compromise your safari experience. Camp is beautifully done as well. Again, as you can see, compared to what we had at Charlie, a little bit more settled, a little bit more structured. You've got a lovely big main lounge area, dining area, but your mess tents are beautifully done, well-established trees, so lots of shade around this camp as well. And then you've got your 6 individual tents. They are all en suite with, hot and cold water and that, and loos. But again, I think just for some people, this is seriously roughing it. For other people, going to something like Ugala is the ultimate luxury in terms of wilderness and space. What I do love about Chada as well is that we do the fly camping in this area, which is just such a unique experience. And I would definitely look at doing 4 nights at Chada and then and then including the fly camping, which I think works out really nicely. But such a wonderful thing just to sleep out simply under a net canvas, a tent like this, and look out at the stars all night and have the most wonderful, wonderful experiences doing something extraordinary. So once we've done Ugala and then moved on to Katavi, we're now going to go further west into Greystoke, into Mahale. So this is how the flight route moves. So moving into the west, we we land on the edge of Lake Tanganyika. You then take a boat journey. It's about an hour and a half coming down south on the lake. It is the most wonderful arrival. It is absolutely beautiful. So you arrive on the edge of the shore, motorbikes take you to the edge of the lake, climb onto this beautiful boat, and it's usually in time for lunch. So you then do a lovely picnic lunch, have a few beers and that sort of thing, and you come and you arrive at Greystoke middle afternoon after you've had a lovely lunch. What I do absolutely love about this destination, of course, is the chimpanzee trekking. Please note in your rate, which looks quite high over here, it includes the chimp trekking. So there's no additional permit for chimp trekking on that side. And the chimps are amazing. I absolutely loved this experience. I've done the gorillas in Rwanda and of course in the Congo when we used to work with Odzala, but the chimps absolutely blew my mind. It is so much more active and so much more engaging. They've got such personalities and they act so much like humans in many ways. You do need to be a little bit fitter. They move a lot faster. I do feel that this is not the destination to send a geriatric or somebody with walking issues and that sort of thing. The team will accommodate them as much as possible, but the walking can be a little bit complex. You're on the edge of Lake Tanganyika, and there's quite a steep gradient going up into the Mahale National Park. So you are clambering, you are walking. It needs to be you need to be able to move. You can't necessarily be carried through the forest either because it can be quite thick at certain times as well. It's not hardcore fit that you need to be, but you need to be agile and you need to be able to move at a relatively good speed, but you don't need to be some sort of triathlete or anything like that. Just a good level of daily fitness is required. and to be able to be stable on your feet. But the chimp experiences and the chimp guides are absolutely blow your mind in terms of how they behave and how they react. If anybody here hasn't done it, it is one of the ultimate experiences to do in Africa. I really rate this as one of my top 3 experiences that I've had. Once you've done the chimp trekking up in the forest, and you do that right from camp, you don't get into a vehicle, you don't go anywhere, you are walking, or sometimes you're catching a boat to a location, and then you're going up, then you're going to go and find the chimps. And then the other activities that you're doing in between this is you're doing wonderful forest walking. There's kayaking on Lake Tanganyika. You can go fishing as well, chill out and relax, which is a good thing to do. They've got wonderful spa experiences. You got the deep water swimming. They don't swim too close because of the crocs and the hippos, but you go out deep into the lake and then you can go swimming, and lots of other things to do within this area, which make it a very unique experience. It combines beautifully if you've done a safari like Charlie Ugalla and then going down to Katavi, because you're getting this wonderful different way of, it's kind of like a bit of a beach chill out relax experience, but you've still got all the nature elements to it as well. That's the main area around Mahale. And then these are the individual rooms. They are super duper sexy. It's like Tarzan on steroids. It's absolutely gorgeous. No glass, no windows, no doors, none of those sorts of things. Just these gorgeous wooden bandas, totally open to the environment around you. It's a very tropical environment as well. The rooms are beautifully done. They are extremely, extremely private and absolutely beautiful in their size as well. Lovely big bedroom area looking out onto your deck outside. And then you have a lovely big large ensuite bathroom as well. And then this is the one bunda that they've got, which is kind of lifted up above the ground. It's bunda number 8, and it's built above the treetop side. On the side over here, that's your bathroom. That whole section over there is a bathroom. And then in here is your bedroom with a deck on the front to face up into the sunset. The sunset's at the back, and the sunrise, of course, is going to be, no? Yes, no, sunrise is to the east and sunset, this is west, the west over here. Sunset is on this side over here. Now we're going to move into Nyerere and Ruaha. Okay. There we go. Okay, what I love about this area, wild and free, you've got Nyeri and Ruaha. The parks together are 51,000 square kilometers versus the Serengeti, which is 15,000 square kilometers. It's a vast and untouched wilderness with less than 10% of the Serengeti visitors. Ruaha is phenomenal for lions, while Nyeri is fantastic for elephants. And again, this combines with both the north and the western camps that we have within NOMAD. So looking at the south, access again is very, very easy. Flying into Ruaha, you can come in from both Zanzibar and Dar es Salaam. There's connections directly from the Serengeti. 6 times a week you can come in from the Serengeti, and then it combines with Katavi as well, and you can combine that into Mahale. So Ruaha is a really good central, easy location to be able to get in and out of. And then from Kigelia, the way down to Charlie is going to be, Kigelia uses the Musembi airstrip, while Charlie uses the Jongomero airstrip. I want to point out, just thinking about airstrips and that sort of thing, especially over here, where Charlie operates down in the southwestern side of Ruaha, they do not have an infestation of tsetse flies. Their tsetse fly numbers are well manageable, and it isn't an issue in terms of doing a safari in this area at all. And then you can combine that into Nyerere with the Sand River and with Kiba Point as well. So I'm going to start off here at Kigelia, because I think the great itinerary would be to do Kigelia camp and then to do Charlie and then to end at Sand Rivers in this particular itinerary. As like a 10-night stay between those would be superb. So Kigelia, very similar to something like we have at Chada, 5 safari tents and 1 family tent, children 8 years and older. It's also seasonal and very well priced as well, starting at just over $800. As I mentioned earlier, fantastic for lion sightings in Ruaha. And the camp itself has got the same private guides per person. You're doing your driving safaris, you're doing your walking, beautiful big baobabs in this area as well. It's wild, it's edgy, brilliant game viewing on offer. And then the camp itself has got a lovely sense of style. It's kind of really what I consider a safari that I almost would have done 30 years ago, with this Makuti style roofing, built on a very simple sand platform, dinners out underneath the baobab trees, and then lovely, big, comfortable, spacious rooms. Main room downstairs over here with your ensuite bathroom. And lovely thing over here, we don't necessarily do the sleep outs like we do at Chada, but what you do, each room has its own private sleep out deck. So you can either choose to sleep out on your deck under a mosquito net or inside in your main area as well. And then just to give you an idea of the interiors of the rooms, very comfortably done, lovely style to everything that across the whole Nomad portfolio, always done with such care and attention. And then we move on to Charlie, which is the camp that we have now down in the southwestern side of Ruaha. A seasonal camp, again, the same structure of the 4 tents with the shared bathroom. Over here, though, compared to Chada in Ugalla, which is a 3-night minimum stay, here it is a 2-night minimum stay, and it has a slightly longer season, but it is an exclusive use camp as well. Simple tent style. I do want to point out this canvas roof that you have on this side, the canvas fly sheet that you have over the tent, can be taken away very, very quickly. And at night, you can take away the fly sheet, and then you can sleep directly out under the stars. And the next morning, before the sun comes in and it starts getting too hot, the fly sheet goes back over, so you don't get any sun in your room during the day. Beautifully done, lovely, elegant style to it. Fantastic experiences with your walking, with a strong focus on walking, but of course there are vehicles as well. Then from Ruaha, we're going to go further east and we have to go to Sand Rivers. Sand Rivers is right on the Rafiji River, beautifully done area. This is like you're finishing with Mahale as your sort of beach experience. Sand Rivers to me is and Kiba Point, the ultimate sort of chill at the end of a safari. If you've done the Ruaha, you come over here, you don't need to go to Zanzibar. You come here, you do a soft safari, beautiful things, but here you've got amazing wildlife experiences. But at the same time, it is barefoot in the sand, picnics on sandbanks, boating, doing some fishing experiences. It's a really slow, chilled out experience, and kind of feel as though you're on a beach, but you're also still on safari as well. The lodge itself is beautifully done. It's very sort of the sexy East African style to it. A beautiful integration of thatch roof with the beautiful woods and styling. I've got lovely colorations. The rooms are open and comfortable. All the sort of white walls. Again, no real doors or windows or anything like that. It's just completely open and out into the surrounding bush around you. And then there's Kiba Point, which is their exclusive use option, which is 3 suites right on the river's edge. Look how gorgeous this room is. Here's your bedroom. I mean, that I think is just so sexy. Here's your bathroom on the side of it here, your basin area and everything. But that sense of just being open to the elements around you, beautiful, stylish rooms. You've got your own private plunge pools here as well. And that goes and gives you an idea of the interiors of the rooms and some of the style that we're getting through at Kiba and Sand Rivers. So that's a great way to end a safari. And I think those 6 camps, you know, in the west and in the south really make a unique, different experience in Tanzania. As a final reminder, we have the stay longer when you're booking with the Nomad. So any combination of 5, and you can get up to 30% off on your accommodation. We then have the 50% off on flights, guys. This is really, really amazing. So if you're staying 7 nights or more between any combo of Nomad camps, and then you're flying into the western side to go to Ugalla, Katavi, or Mahale, you can save 50% on your flights when you combine them. And that's a big saving. It's $1,000. And then when you go into the south, the same happens over here. Combine 7 nights, and then we will do 50% of the flight between Dar es Salaam and Ruaha. A last minute saving, you can save another 20% off when you book within 60 days. All of these are combinable. So add that all up. Come on, you're not that bad at maths. Add that all up, and you can see what a brilliant saving that you're going to make across that. Then on the kids rate, Nomad is very, very family orientated. Children under the age of 21 pay 30% of the adult rate. I think that is a fantastic offer and really makes it appealing to families. And that applies to one child sharing with an adult, which I think just works really fantastically. And then finally, on the honeymoon side, we have one spouse pays 50%. So you've got a good honeymoon offer here as well. And then don't forget, when you're using Hornbill, you'll save an additional $250 when you book on the Hornbill system as well. So lots of good, strong value to be had across the Nomad camps. We're just going to launch our second poll at the moment. And I'm going to ask you over here, what are your clients looking for when they're looking for something different? Where do you start? Do you use a well-known destination but a new property? Or do you use a different area within a classic country, a completely new country, a smaller, lesser known camp, something more remote and harder to access? You're not always sure. You tend to stick to what you know. Oh, I like the answers. You are answering correctly. This is exactly what I like to see. Fantastic. Gosh, that's really interesting. Okay, well, I think looking at the results of the poll so far, we definitely are doing the right webinar for everybody today. Okay, we're going to end the poll now, and we're going to share those results. There we go. So we have on this side, the biggest number of you said 59% of our respondents said that you're looking for something more remote and harder to access. Well done, guys. This is the presentation for you. The next one was smaller, lesser known camp. That's exactly what we are doing here as well. And a completely new country. We're going to be doing a bit of that as well in a different area within a classic country, which definitely makes up for something like Tanzania. So perfect. We love that. Thank you. Okay, moving on then into Madagascar. I was very surprised that more of you have sold Gorongosa than you have sold MASOALA. I'm hoping that there are more of you that have sold Madagascar as a whole. We have had the most fantastic rise in interest towards selling Madagascar. It's doing extremely well. It did have a blip last year. I mean, we had a political, unrest, which caused a bit of a blip in bookings, but it was a short-term unrest situation, and things in Madagascar are working quite well on this side now. One of the greatest obstacles, and I will get into this later, is the access around Madagascar. It is a very big island. I think we sometimes underestimate the size of it, but just look at it in comparison to the likes of a Zimbabwe or a Botswana. It is a large island, and access isn't always the easiest, but right at the end, I'm going to give you a few suggested itineraries of what to combine with and how to make this all work. So access coming into Madagascar is very good, actually. We've got Airlink flying in from Johannesburg, Air France coming in because it used to be a French colony, Kenyan Airways coming in. I've done that Kenyan flight. It actually is really good. Ethiopian Airlines, which is now fantastically affordable, so really good on that. And Emirates, we're not obviously doing that one too much at the moment, but when it's back, it will be working extremely well on that side as well. Once you land in Antananarivo, you then have a flight going twice a week on a Monday, on a Sunday and a Wednesday. There's a flight from Tana up to Maransetra, and then from there we do a boat journey to MASOALA. But what makes MASOALA so extremely special is that one, I believe it could be a mini Madagascar, an all-in-one destination. And secondly, it's the largest preserved and intact rainforest left in Madagascar itself. So you are getting pristine rainforest here and a large part of that pristine rainforest. It's a biodiversity hotspot, exceptional biodiversity over here and endemism with flagship charismatic species like the red ruff lemur, who make a lovely sound. They're very vocal. The white-fronted brown lemur, helmeted vanga, which was my exciting, it's a bird, if you don't know, the helmeted vanga, which was for me the most exciting thing to see, the most beautiful bird, I thought. And then it's also where the forest and the ocean meet. So you've got this pristine rainforest hitting these beautiful white sandy beaches and this beautiful ocean in front of you. Exceptionally good for whale watching as well. And the whales generally come from about July through to September. It's exactly the same whale season because it's, in the southern hemisphere as we have down here in South Africa, but a very, very good bay for whales to come in and do breeding. And so you see a lot of carving and that sort of thing taking place within the bay that MASOALA is on. Mini Madagascar, guys, you can do this as a standalone. You're getting a little bit of everything when you are here. And if people don't want to be traipsing around the bigger Madagascar experience, you can do a 7, 10, or 11 night stay at MASOALA. So looking at MASOALA, we've got 7 treehouse beach rooms, fixed arrivals, as I mentioned, on a Sunday and a Wednesday, kids of all ages. And it is a fabulous destination to take children. I took my kids a few years ago. They were about 11 and 13 years old, and it was absolutely amazing. There was no Wi-Fi. They had to speak to me. They couldn't be on their TikToky things and doing all those sorts of things, but it was the most amazing experience. And I would take children here in a heartbeat. I would do this way before I went to Mauritius or something along those lines. Beautiful ocean, this raw, real experience, and a great destination for families. You land in Maransetra Airport, and then from there you do a little journey to the water's edge, and you climb onto this very comfortable boat, and you do about a 2-hour boat journey to MASOALA itself. It's a lovely boat journey. It really is a fantastic experience. You arrive at MASOALA, and you've got these beautiful sandy beaches, this gorgeous ocean in front of you as well. And then you have the 7 beachfront rooms. They're up on stilts, so you get that lovely ocean breeze. I mentioned that I was here for just over a week. I slept with my tent open all the time and just had a breeze blowing through. There were no mozzies. I couldn't believe it. No mozzies over here. Well, when I went, at least there were no mozzies. It was a temperate, cool climate. You can hear the lemurs at night all around you. It was just beautiful. One little caveat I am going to mention: the bathrooms are downstairs. Okay, I'm luckily don't need to go too much to the bathroom at night, but it is quite a steep staircase. And if you've got somebody, especially older people, I'd go maybe not quite the ideal location for oldies with the up and down stairs at night. And also, again, it is a destination similar to Mahale with Greystoke, that you do need to be a little bit more active. It's not a place to go and just veg or sit if you can't move. You need to be able to move to really enjoy this. They are going to be doing some nice little upgrades here as well at MASOALA, just an upgrade in the tents, just to keep the product constantly refreshed and looking wonderful. Food experience, absolutely amazing. They're in the middle of nowhere, so the food experience is fresh, local, and super duper healthy. You're gonna, it's just lots of rice, lots of fresh vegetables, lots of things that come from in the area, and they do traditional meals as well as, of course, your Western meals. Lots of fresh fish as well, which is fantastic. And then from an experience point of view, you are getting out and about. You're going to be kayaking, you're going to be snorkeling, you're going to be swimming, lots of walking. We've got the amazing wildlife sightings over here. You've got over 10 different lemur species, including the ii, which can be seen over here. And we've got 22 Vango species to be found in this area as well. Then we've got, of course, the lowland streaked tenrecs. This week, I don't know whether you've seen it on the Wild Expeditions Instagram, but I think we've had 5 million likes or something absolutely ridiculous to the little tenrecs video that went up live on the site. But the tenrecs is, I mean, it is the size of a mouse, really. It looks like a hedgehog, but it's not related to a hedgehog, but even though it's got little spiky things. Its closest relative to this little spiky character is an elephant. Can you actually believe it? It's not even, so it's really amazing little thing to be seen, and quite a fun thing here as well. So lots of different stuff. And I love the forest exploring. The reptiles that you're going to be finding, the chameleons, the lizards, all those sort of things, absolutely amazing. Day and night hikes, going and canoeing up the rivers, exploring those things, going into swim into waterfalls and all those different things as well. But it really is active and engaging and fabulous for younger kids, teenagers, anything like that. But for a family who wants to get out and explore and do things together, it is phenomenal. And then, of course, you've got the community engagement as well as strong community side of things over here, just down the beach from MASOALA Forest Lodge. You have the local community, and you go and visit them. You can go and play football. You go and buy spices. There's cinnamon, vanilla, all these different spices that they have just growing wild on the trees around them. Lychees falling off the trees around them as well. But the community side and going to visit the local people is absolutely wonderful. My girls, when they went, loved it. You only sort of go once or twice in a week. My girls wanted to go every single evening. And it really is quite an extraordinary and fun experience, and not contrived and not commercial at all. Totally natural and totally engaging. And in the evenings, we do sundowner cruises, dinners out on the beach. You can do the evening sunset sailing, all these different things as well. Just to give you an idea of what the evenings look like. They make their own rum as well. So there's lots of free rum, or lots of rum to have, like a whole cacophony of rum to be explored and tasted. And then one of the other amazing experiences where you feel as though you have dropped off the edge of the world. This is the easternmost point of Madagascar. You get taken here by boat. It's 2 hours further to what we call Blue Lagoon, and is our expedition camp that we have over here. It can only be done when you are doing a stay of 8 nights or more at MASOALA. So you need to do a 10 or 11 night experience. You'll do about 7 nights at MASOALA, and then you'll add on 2 or 3 nights at the Crusoe's cabin experience. This is the most phenomenal, crystal clear blue lagoon all around these islands, and you go kayaking, exploring these different destinations. You're staying in Crusoe's cabin. It's only one room. A couple, the most romantic place you're going to find. I think it is absolutely sexy. And then you've got, and then for families, so you can take kids here as well. But the whole thing is yours. Nobody else is here. Comfortably takes 4, but absolutely sexy and gorgeous as just for you as a couple. But you can go here with your kids as well. And then you have one sort of one person that sort of does all your cooking, your cleaning, that sorts you out, does the kayaking with you, that is your guide. And but it's that extraordinary feeling as though you've fallen off the edge of the world. The lagoon that you can see over here on this top image is this lovely crystal clear blue water. It's because it's quite shallow water and it's got a clear base, so it shines beautifully in the ocean and in the sunlight. So this is this kayaking. You go around these different islands, you're exploring different locations, and it really is just a super fun experience to be doing. Now, just to give you an idea of some of the combinations that we're going to be having. So you got MASOALA, which is up here in the northeastern side. As you can see, right off the tippy edge, that's where Blue Lagoon is. So it is the most, if I were to drop directly down off this, you can see off the most eastern side of Madagascar. You're further off than Ile Sainte-Marie, which is this little island over here. You're further east than that, actually. And now the combinations that we have are, Chris Roche put these together for me, and he's a bit of a nerd when it comes to sort of biomes and things. So the first one is rainforest realms, where you're combining MASOALA, which is your pristine rainforest, with a mid-altitude rainforest, which is Andasibi, and that combines really nicely. We would do 3 nights Andasibi, 1 night back in Tana, and then 4 nights up at MASOALA. So that's a mid-altitude rainforest and an ultimately rainforest experience. And of course, at Andasibi, you get the singing lemurs, so they're the ones that are kind of making the lovely noises, and that combines as a good lemur destination. The second trip, and this is the first one, is our most popular combo. The second one is a very, very popular combo as well, and that's with Anjajavi, where you're doing the baobabs, biodiversity, and bays. We're doing 3 nights at Anjajavi. I would possibly do a little bit more. We used to represent Anjajavi many years ago as well. I think it's a beautiful destination, but because it's on the western side of the island, it's much drier. And yeah, you're getting your dry forest experience, your baobabs, fantastic lemur sightings as well. And that combines via Tanner again and up into MASOALA. The third option is to do the rocks and rainforest when you want to go and see the Tsingy rock formations. And then when you go to the Madagascar classic camping thing, Namaroka, and you stay back in Tanner and then up to MASOALA as well. So that's another good combo on that side. And the final combo is to get right down south into Mandrari. And there that's Spines to See, where you would do 3 nights at Mandrari for the spiny forest, 1 night back in Tanner, and then 4 nights to MASOALA. How to book? You can book through any multitude of good DMCs. And if you don't have a DMC that you're currently working with, please let us know and we can recommend the one that is best suited to your client base and to your needs personally. But we've got great partners on the ground, and we've got very good DMCs who do manage all of these trips for you. The special offer here, we only have a honeymoon offer, which is the stay 7 nights, and you get a discounted rate. But please note, at MASOALA, we do have a 3-night stay, a 4-night stay, a 7-night stay, and a 10-night stay. So the longer you stay, the rate reduces accordingly. So they've got an aggregated rate on that side. And then to end off our presentation today, we've got 15 minutes left. We're going to jump into Mozambique. And when I was preparing this presentation, this picture was all blue and had a beautiful ocean picture, because we think of Mozambique as being very ocean orientated. But today we're just concentrating on Gorongosa, which is the only safari experience currently operating within Mozambique. And here we have Gorongosa safaris. I want to say to everybody here, and if you haven't booked Gorongosa yet, please, you can do this with ultimate confidence. But for anybody of you, and we do have quite a few who came to say that they have booked Gorongosa, I want a very, very big thank you. When we took this over just over a year ago, they were sitting at a very low occupancy, low revenue rate. And within the first year, we have done exceptionally well. And the only way we've done this is with your support. But Gorongosa has gone from being an undiscovered kind of misunderstood is the word, not confused, misunderstood experience to really becoming an absolute sort of beacon of hope and an ultimate destination. The feedback from agents and guests in the past year has been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Access wise, again, I went the first time I went to visit. I've been now a few times, but the first time I went was in 2024, and I was astounded at how easy it is to get to. So you fly directly from Johannesburg into Beira. It's an hour and a bit to get there, so it's not difficult at all. It's an hour and a half flight with Airlink, and that flight operates daily. And then when you can also come in with Ethiopian Airways, which is a good access in. It's a little bit cheaper, and you can come in via Blantyre. Please note the Ethiopian flight arrives a little bit late in the afternoon, and there tends to be a bit of an issue around the passport control. So you can get stuck on the Ethiopian flight, and you might need to land up staying a night in Beira. That's our little one caveat on that side. Airlink arrives at just after 12 o'clock. So it's a much easier flight when you're coming in at 12:30, and that gives you ample time to get through the airport and then to connect with the seat-in rate that we have. So we have a seat-in rate 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that connects Beira directly into Gorongosa, and the airstrip there is called Chitengo. Please, I think because of your access, we want to remind you that to tell you very exciting news is that last year we kind of flew in a variety of little aeroplanes with Safari Air as our partner. And this year we will be announcing it in the next few weeks, but there will be Air Gorongosa operating very shortly. And they are, in conjunction with Safari Air. So it's underwritten by all the Safari Air licenses. But Air Gorongosa, which is the plane dedicated to the Gorongosa Reserve, will be a caravan, a 12-seater caravan, and that will give us direct access from Beira into Gorongosa as well as down to Vilanculos. So then connecting Gorongosa into Vilanculos. We have that flight happening twice a week on a Monday and a Wednesday. That works really well. It goes Gorongosa down to Vilanculos via Beira because it sometimes drops people off. If there are no passengers to drop off in Beira, it will fly directly from Gorongosa to Vilanculos. You then do a helicopter into Benguera Island and stay at Azura, and then you fly back between Vilanculos and Johannesburg. So that's this is a superb triangle to be having over here on this side. So what do we love about this area? The restoration success. I mean, everybody knows about this, but Gorongosa's restoration transformation from this war-torn ecosystem into a thriving park and the revitalization of the biodiversity, empowering of the communities and promoting sustainable conservation is on a level that is absolutely untouchable within the African continent. The reserve, the Gorongosa is 1 million acres. It's 3 times the size of the Masai Mara. And this area has been restored in the most extraordinary way by a single philanthropist, Greg Carr. So we've got this vast untouched wilderness with savannas, grasslands, wetlands, rivers, lakes, montane forests, and up onto Mount Gorongosa. So you can imagine a little bit of the Serengeti, the grasslands of the Serengeti, the wetlands and the water system of the Okavango Delta. You're getting a bit of the riverine forest of the Lower Zambezi, a typical Lower Zambezi with all the same sort of trees and that sort of thing. And then you're getting some of the rainforest that you're going to be finding in the Congo Basin as well. So it's all of those things mix into this one destination, and it's right at the end of the African Rift Valley, just as the Rift Valley is kind of breaking back out into the ocean in Mozambique. It's because of this amazing biodiversity in terms of terrain. You also have extraordinary things in terms of varied ecosystems, microclimates, and with that you get extraordinary animals as well as bird species like the green-headed oriole, which is endemic to that area. And this definitely is an intelligent adventure. I've done this talk a few times, and I've said this a few times over, but this is from conservation and science to community to walking and game viewing and exploring. This is not the destination that you send an idiot who wants to tick off seeing a lion and a leopard and an elephant. Send people that understand Africa, that want to discover more, that want to learn about, citizen science projects, that want to kind of get engaged in something different. This is the most extraordinary destination if you have an inquisitive mind and you're wanting to learn. I think it is brilliant from that perspective. So access-wise, you fly over here into the park headquarters, which is Chitengo, and this is kind of where everybody lives. when Greg Carr's in the park, he lives down here as well. And the community areas are just to the south of this area. So when you're doing the community projects, you come out into this area here. Mizuma Lodge is then a little bit further. It's about a 35-minute drive away. And Chikari is not too far away from Mizumu. So the two camps are relatively close to each other, but two completely different camp experiences. However, your safari and your game drive and all the things that you're doing are the same between these two camps. And then when you want to go and explore further, we'll show you a few slides later about exploring further. You get these sandstones cliffs right up in the eastern side. And we've got our exploration camp, the expedition camp that operates over here north of Lake Urima. It's going to be operating over here in this area that says Gorongosa National Park. That's the kind of zone that the expedition camp goes and explores and looks for different things. Mount Gorongosa is its own sort of another section of the park. It is separated by community village land in between, but you do a day trip up to Mount Gorongosa, which is well worth it. And if you've got a little bit of cash to throw at the situation, get a helicopter and fly up to Mount Gorongosa, and the vehicle can meet you up there as well. So you could fly one way and drive the other way, or fly both ways if you wanted to as well. We have the 5 and 7 night explorers, stay 5, pay 4, and stay 7, pay 5. These have worked brilliantly. We are definitely keeping them on for the whole of next year as well. But it is a tactical offer and it works extremely well for us. And we're very happy to see the way it's been accepted. Gorongosa Restoration Project is a humanitarian project before it is a conservation project. The human need in this area was quite enormous, especially after the impact of the Civil War. So when Greg Carr got involved in this area, it was not about just saving animals or saving a park. It was about saving humanity in the surrounding areas and giving them hope and showing them that life can be different and that the park can actually create economic opportunity for them as well. So the park has become their symbol of hope, and it's become a symbol of restoration, not just of the wild spaces, but a restoration of these communities as well in a post-Civil War. It's this undiscovered Eden. It is the most extraordinary landscape. You cannot believe the density of wildlife that is here as well. The way that it has rebounded in the last 20 years is quite amazing. Fantastic wild dog sightings. I mean, I always go on about the wild dogs, and somebody goes and stays and they don't see them, but there are the apex predators in the area. So they have about over 250 wild dogs in the southern section of the park. So your dog sightings are extremely good. Excellent lions, bush pigs. You see them a dime a dozen. Those you do see a lot of. Even in the middle of the day, you see bush pigs all around. Lovely herds of elephant. Then you've got, of course, your wildebeest. You've got roan antelope, sables, eland, a whole lot of different things all around you as well. Lots of bushbuck, lots of nyala, lots of warthogs, all those sorts of things. So there's lots of good general game. And it has the single largest herd of waterbuck anywhere on the African continent, a herd of over 68,000 waterbuck, in this area. The team are all from the local community. So there's that inspiring story about giving hope again, and amazing people. You can't believe that they could have lived through so much conflict not so long ago, and yet they can change and just have the most warm, generous sense of spirit about them. Mizuma Lodge has got 6 tents at the moment, and we did find it was a bit of an imbalance. So next year we're increasing this up to 9 so that we can do more of a balance between Mizuma and Chikari in terms of the sizes. There is a swimming pool here. It's on the sort of Oxbow Lake. Here's the Oxbow Lake. There's an Oxbow Lagoon rather, and there's the main river section over here in front. The new tents are going to be built on this little island section over here. Just to give you an idea of the main interior size, comfortable, easygoing, really nicely done. The food is absolutely outstanding. The team are amazing from that perspective as well. Comfortable, big, spacious rooms. They twin really nicely, so you can push these beds apart. And then you've got a lovely big ensuite bathroom at the back. And you've got your lovely big deck out in the front as well. The one thing I'm going to be honest with you over here, these rooms are quite shaded in, so they don't have that expansive sense of space. They have cut down a bit of the vegetation around, but when you are looking, you just are looking into quite a lot of bush and that sort of thing around you. Lots of nyala, though, are popping in and out of the bush, and lots of monkeys and that sort of thing as well. Chikari, which is not far away, but completely different in what the experience is and how the camp is laid out. It's got 8 safari tents under 1 tree height, so that's why we're increasing the rooms at Mizumu, just to get those balanced out. It's a little bit cheaper than we have at Mizumu as well, at starting at $850 per person versus $950 at Mizumu. And this is the location over here, though. So here you're on this amazing, amazing, really, really productive pan. There's got water in it nearly all year round. That's the main camp area over here. And then the tents are laid out around this tree line of, this is a fever tree forest that is around here. This section over here that you can see in the back is actually the big open floodplains and grasslands that I was speaking about earlier, with Lake Arima in the background over there. This is the style of this camp, totally open. And here you literally feel as though you're in a National Geographic movie, because you sit on the side, you've got the telescope sitting in front of you, and you just watch what is happening in that open pan. Elephants are coming in, dogs are hunting out there. When I was there, we had a lion kill in camp. But it is a super cool, really active little zone. But then on this side, while you've got this great location and all that sort of thing, the tents are very nice, but guys, they are small. I'm going to be honest with you on that side. So that's the main area, very nicely done. And then these are the little tents. They're gorgeous. They're very good, little, nicely done. You've got your main bedroom over here that you can see. That's the main zoom. And then where this curtain is your bathroom. So it's not a massive zone at all, but really comfortable, great bedding, all those sorts of things, and a lovely bath, shower basin and loo. And then that's the tree hide tent, which is 2 tents with a shared deck. Lovely for 2 singles sharing, that you can be close together, but not necessarily in the same room. For a family with kids, it's very popular from that side as well. We get a lot of families coming with slightly older kids, and this works out very nicely for them as well. But we would never sell this to 2 couples who don't know each other. It's too close. Okay. And then going over here to the activities, fantastic game drives, excellent guides. Walking safaris are absolutely phenomenal as well. Now, seasonally, we do canoeing and boating. We've had a lot of rain this season, so there's a lot of canoeing and boating to start off the season. And then sort of course, sundowners and things like that on the edge of Lake Arima. Visiting the E.O. Wilson Lab and going to see the scientific side of the park as well. It's one of the largest scientific research centers outside of any university in the world. You've got Harvard, Stanford, Yale, all those big universities from around the world who've got many campuses or small departments that are doing science research projects across the reserve here, from paleontology to archaeology to God knows anything else. All those ologists, they're very smart people in this area. And then you got your pangolins as well. This is the Pangolin Conservation Project. They've released over 150 pangolins back into the wild. And the pangolins are kept at Chitengo when they're in their rehabilitation process, but they are fed out in the park on a daily basis. And all guests who are staying 5 nights or more at Chitengo or Mazumu or a combination go and join the conservation team as part of the afternoon game drive or morning game drive and go and see the pangolins wild feeding. So you get the most phenomenal photographic pictures like you see over here. No touching of a pangolin. Only the handlers get to touch. Nobody else gets to touch, but you can just photograph them, watch them, all their actions and that sort of thing. It is absolutely amazing and phenomenal to do. And then, of course, because it is a humanitarian project, we do lots with the community. And I think people understanding the impact that they're making with every stay and how this is giving back towards the local communities. So you do lots of community actions and community involvement experiences. And then from a birding perspective, it is just phenomenal. I mean, that's a normal oriole. There's a green-headed oriole, you've got your pratincolas, you've got your loads of water birds, your pelicans, your herons, amazing different things to be found in this area. It's an exceptional birding destination. And then we have Mount Gorongosa day trip, where you can go up onto the mountain, waterfalls, rainforests. They've got coffee plantations around here. You've got the pygmy chameleon. So lots of little different things to do. And this is all included in a 5 or 7 night stay and relatively easy to do. The Gorongosa day trip is a little bit extra at $300 per person. And then when you want to explore further and go into the wilder reaches of Gorongosa, we have the exclusive use expedition camp. And this is it's newish. We set it up a little bit last year, but this year is the first year that we're really pushing it. Basic, simple little dome tents. And the camp is only set up 5 times in a season. It takes a lot of resources to set this camp up. It's extremely basic, but it's in a really remote corner of the park. And I think it's very important that we just have it set up in a really nice area for people. And that's been quite popular. And then if you want to throw a bit of cash at the problem, which I always think is a good idea, we work with wildlife helicopters, and they are able to bring in their helicopters and do either do flying aerial flights around Gorongosa. You can fly up into the limestone caves, or you can fly up onto Mount Gorongosa, but there is heli access to be able to enjoy the things in the area. We're also really lucky that they've got a good partnership. Recently now with the rains, we needed to do a bit of a heli evac, and the helicopters were able to help us out in the past few weeks as well. And then the limestone caves, which are up in the northeastern side. To get here, you would need the helicopter. It's too far away. Get up here, get dropped off, and then go and explore and go do some caving and exploring. And then finally, just to give you an idea of this open, beautiful, big terrain with a large format number of waterbuck everywhere. And then our special offers, as I mentioned before, is the Stay 5 Pay 4 and the Stay 7 Pay 5. And then just to remind you finally of the combination that we have between Gorongosa and Azura. It's a 10-night or 12-night combo itinerary. We do 5 nights of Gorongosa and 5 nights Marlin, or 7 nights Gorongosa, 5 nights Marlin. All the flights in Mozambique are included in that package, and it starts off at rack rate of $9,200 per person sharing. That's for the 10-night. You're paying for 8, and you've got all your internal flights. All you need to add on is the flight into Beira and out of Vilanculos. And that can be booked through us. So finally, one last question I have to give to you, and that is, just wanted to know, now that you've listened to the webinar, and I'll go back and check what you've booked already, which of these destinations do you have the right clients for, and which of the destinations will you feel that you can sell in the next 6 months? And I've thought 6 months, not 12 months. So I wanted to get your idea of which ones you've got the right clients for, and which ones you feel you'll be able to sell in the next 6 months or so. Gosh, this is looking good. Very positive, guys. I'm impressed. Fabulous. While you're doing this, I want to remind you, I know I've gone through this at relatively high speed, but we are available at any time to take any questions. Natasha's here with me. We've got Michelle, who's on our support side, and I've got the whole sales team. Pam, who does Europe, Siobhan, who's doing America, and Lauren, who's here in South Africa, and Lazan, who's now helping on the South African sales side. But we are here to answer your questions, and we'd love to hear more from you as well. I'm going to end the poll now and to show you those numbers. So our highest number is 80% of you are going to be selling Gorongosa. That is absolutely fantastic. 60% of you, which is our second highest number, are going to start selling MASOALA. That's very good. I'm very happy to hear that. And then we go down, 43% of you are going to sell Greystoke. Yes, please. 37% are going to do Kigelia and Chada. 40% Sand Rivers, and then we've got 13%, which is bigger than the number we booked at the beginning with, to book Charlie Expeditionary Camps. I think when it comes to the Tanzanian side, we've got really cool itineraries. They're easy to do. And I do feel that a Western circuit linked into or a Southern circuit would work extremely well. Something's happened to my presentation, I don't know, but we've got one final poll for you guys as well. And that is, I just need to ask you, who is going to be attending Indaba this year? So we want to start planning and getting ready for the Indaba side of things, but who will be attending? So who's yes, who's no, who's undecided? And if you yes, we're going to be contacting you immediately, asking you for an appointment. So just let us know who's going to be doing what on that side. Okay. I'll give it another. All right. I'm going to end the poll now. So we've got on that side, 70% of you are not coming to Indaba. Wow. 16% of you are definitely coming, and 14% of you are undecided. If you're not coming to Indaba, I do want to remind you once again that we do have our mega fam taking place at the end of the year. We do have a few more spaces left on these extraordinary camps, so you could not just listen to us talking about them and listen to us sharing our amazing first-hand experience of it, but come and join us on a trip and get to experience this for yourself. Because I think, especially for these remote destinations, it is the best way to sell it to your clients is to sell it from the heart when you know it yourselves. So just to remind you finally as well, everything that you need is on our Classic Portfolio website. Our crib sheet is, I think, fantastic. I use it all the time. We've just done amazing new fact sheets. There's a brand new fact sheet, new layout, new look, updated information on all our members is on our website as well. We've got suggested itineraries on that side, and these webinars are all being loaded into what we're calling our Classic Academy. So anybody who wants to listen to something again, you're welcome to go back into the Academy and just have a look at some of the past webinars on that side. So finally, thank you very much. I enjoy talking to you. It's always such a lovely thing to be here, catch up with all of you. And we are always available to connect with you, help you out, anything that you need from that side. Please let us know. Yes, just to answer some of the questions, if you've been answering the questions. Yes, we will be sharing the presentation. Don't worry about that. Okay, yeah, we answered them all. Okay. Oh, Natasha's so organized. She's done everything. So thank you very much. We appreciate you. We love working with you, and we're looking forward to lots more business taking place across some of the wildest destinations. And I look forward to seeing many of you that are on this thing already. And there I see Samantha's here, who's just Samantha Myberg, who was on a trip with me to Gorongosa. Really lovely to have so many different people over here. We've got Gail Higginbotham, who's joining us on our mega fams. Thank you, Gail, for being here today. But thank you all for everybody. And we will look forward to catching up with you again in the not too distant future. And happy Easter for next weekend. Bye.